No, I got the. One more time. All right, y'all. It's Tuesday, and it's time. Let's get busy.
On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Right.
Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
And that'll do it. It's over. The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world.
We're down to 2, now to 1. Here's Jordan. Yes! Here's all over the Chicago Bulls.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah. And away we go. Good morning. Welcome to the Taco Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. I'm making adjustments on the fly, as I usually do. Boy, we got lots to do today and a short time to do it. So let me do this. I gotta put on my sweater here. How are you all doing this morning? Let's see who's with us. Hey, Pizzle, good morning to you. The Hawk TV's in the house. To answer your question, there was a game show called Double Dare on Nickelodeon in 1988. That's what that theme is. I'm going to upload a couple of more themes here to the docket for the warm-up music. How we doing, folks? I'm doing good. I'm doing really, 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 really good. So there's this thing going on now with Deion Sanders taking the position at the University of Colorado, which I saw coming. I initially thought that he would not take the position, but then it goes against me and my phrase of dreaming big. Deion Sanders, a Hall of Famer, a hell of a cornerback, and a player, not to mention a parent, is now coaching in the Big 12 at the University of Colorado. And I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier. While I await my partner, I'm going to start the show off with one of these. It seems like there's a lot of people in the black community that are so angry at Deion Sanders because he quote unquote owes the community because he took an HBCU and turned it into prominence. Well, let me say unto y'all, it goes like this. He doesn't know y'all a doggone thing. Let me repeat myself. He doesn't owe y'all a doggone thing. The only people that he owes is his family. And what he owes to his family is a chance for bigger and better things. You have to remember that Deion took his own money, half of his salary that he was getting at Jackson State, and gave it back to the university. He put his money where his mouth is. Okay, can I say that again? He put his money where his mouth is. And he put his money back into Jackson State to upgrade their facilities. Now he doesn't have to do that, and now he gets a 5-year deal and a chance to turn the Colorado program around. My initial thought was that they should have gone with a Colorado hero in Darian Hagan. My thought has changed. My thought has changed. If they want to trust the program to Deion Sanders, I'm all for it. Because I believe Deion Sanders can do the job. You know what he instilled at Jackson State? Confidence and responsibility. Let me say that again for those of y'all in the cheap seats at the old Astrodome in Houston. There are two things that Deion Sanders instilled at Jackson State: confidence and responsibility. The responsibility of the student athletes to be student athletes. You're a student first before you're an athlete. If you're not going to give your best, I'm not going to give you any time. That was his rule. And that's something I will take with me as we here at the SDM Sports Radio Network and Snowman in the Morning move on to bigger and better things. When I say bigger and better, I mean just that. I'm talking about a show that I am doing with my friend Artie Source that y'all will see on Wednesday, and taking that along with this morning show to Phoenix, Arizona. Why Phoenix, Arizona? Super Bowl 57. I don't care who plays in the Super Bowl. I want to be there. I want my family to be there. I want us to be on Radio Frickin' Row when it happens. I have the support of my family. I have the support of you guys. And like Deion, I'm thinking big. I'm dreaming big, and I'm doing bigger every single day. I had a question posed to me. Why hasn't the podcast been up? Well, I'm kind of designing something where I host it myself. Because right now, do we need the donations coming in to help the station? Hell yeah, we do. We do. And I'm going to keep asking for them, for myself and for Cole Johnson and for whomever's involved. Victor Locke, my longtime engineer, him too. But Deion Sanders doesn't owe the black community a doggone thing. He got his first opportunity, took advantage of it for 3 years, and now he's got a 5-year deal at Colorado. Period. Period. And as I related, that's how we're gonna. That is how we are operating here. That is how we are operating here. And if people don't like it, they can hop right off the train and walk. There's another show that's very popular on the STM Sports Radio Network, and the fellow who hosts it is in the chat right now. It's called the Fifth Down Sports Show. If I can do anything to help Chris Dietz and company get to Phoenix, Arizona, or Las Vegas, Nevada, in case we don't make it to Phoenix this year, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But my congratulations to Deion Sanders. He took one opportunity and scored it into a bigger one. Now, here's the hope. The hope is that the next coach at Jackson State continues the tradition and the excellence that Deion Sanders has set. Back-to-back SWAC championships. And not just that, continuing to mentor and be there for the students, for the student athletes, for everyone, and I mean that, everyone that has some kind of connection to Jackson State University. I hope he inspires y'all to go after bigger goals, to go after bigger things, to go after your dreams. He wanted to be a coach, did that. He coached an HBCU back to prominence. And now he has the task he's looking for, to take a big-time university that has suffered in football for a long time, because the Colorado Buffaloes, to be very honest, have not been relevant since 2005 when they won the North Division in the Big 12. Now they're in the Pac-12, well, soon to be Pac-10. I trust them, and I hope they do too. That is Snowman's take. What is yours? All right, to the chat we go. Hawk TV is with us, and as I said, that tune is from Double Dare from 1988, and here is that man they call Goal Sports with a Z. Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing good. Nice background. I like that. Oh, I'm sorry.
I do too. I wonder what it is. Oh, I know what that is. That's Minute Maid Park with the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
You and I think a lot alike. And I love that. Because the background you did for the Chicago Sports Connection, thank you. Both of them.
I figured you'd like that.
No Cub fans allowed.
I figured you'd like that little
oh, hell yeah.
twist.
Tim and I are Southsiders.
Oh, okay. So both you Southsiders, okay.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Morning Hawk, V-Lock, Sick Diggy, and Dietz. Dietz is in the house with us. Good morning to you
on
Hey,
Victor.
Fizzle, Deion Sanders
Morning,
is
Fizzle.
still a lot more than people think. He's thinking generations ahead. That he is. That he is.
It's it's great comment, and that's a wonderful point. Sick. It's commentary on the phrase that you normally hear. Small people talk about people.
Mhm.
Uh, um, medium people talk about things, and
Yep.
great people talk about ideas.
Mhm.
And we're seeing Dion talk talk ideas, basically saying he has a bigger calling on his life, and that he moves the way God wants him to move. So
What's
if
the
God,
problem?
yeah, there's some problem with me. So if God told him to say, I think you've done all you can do in Jackson, Mississippi. I have another project for you to do, and
In
he's
Boulder, Colorado.
in Boulder, Colorado, and he says, okay, I'm up for it. Problem, issue. And we
None.
get hung up on, well, he only got paid $300,000 in Jackson, and he got lured to Colorado for $5 million. No, it wasn't the money. Besides, he donated half his $300,000 salary to
Each
improve
year.
the conditions there, and put forth more of his own money
Each year.
each
Each
year.
year. He was doing that since day one.
Yeah. So he did more than he had to do, in my opinion. I mean, more than enough. More than enough.
Why did I yank out a Colorado play from '89 and envisioning Deion Sanders bringing that much greatness there? And
They
you
bet.
know the play I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. They better prepare. The everything. And of course, he adorned. I mean, he donned the scarlet and the gold for a
Mhm.
year.
Mhm.
He thoroughly prepares. I mean, very few athletes that I have ever studied prepare for any and every game and every situation like he did.
Yep.
So if he's
Very,
going to put forth
very
that
few.
much preparation as a player, just imagine what he will do as a coach.
Yeah, imagine what we're gonna do with this term day quote unquote project when we fly our asses to Phoenix, Arizona
Mm-hmm.
or Las Vegas, Nevada. Cause I'm thinking 57 or 58, and that's just the start, man.
Yeah.
That's just the start.
Yeah.
And Deets, you coming with us? A Pizzle, of course, your family, Cole, and my family. I'm dreaming big. Let's take over let's take over an airline and have our entire crew fly down to Phoenix. F
a
it. Let's
plane
go. Let's
a
go for
play a plane full of the whole crew, huh?
it. Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
I am willing to stake my reputation on the fact that we're going to get bigger and better every day.
Well, I think we can just see right here, just in the visual presentation, proof already is in the pudding. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. And there will be more. There will
Mhm.
be much, much more.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan McCarthy joining us. He says, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to everyone watching and listening. Coach Prime's net worth is reportedly $45 million. You think he's going to Colorado for the money?
See,
He's going to Colorado for the challenge.
this is why I love being around you guys. And I'm including my brother here, Mr. Snowman, along with this. You all get exactly what I saw. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, he doesn't need the money. It's a challenge for him. And the fact that it is a challenge, I think it invigorates him to see him take a product as it looked when he got there and see that he left it better than he found it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He did that with the Falcons. He did that not as coaches, but as
As
a
a
player.
player.
He did that with the Falcons. He actually technically did it as a 49er. He did that with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
He did do that with the 49ers. He did it with
yeah.
the Falcons. He did it with the Cowboys. He did it
So,
with the Ravens.
and he even did with the Ravens because they were on their way. I think they were on their way up to
And
actually getting their Super Bowl,
mm-hmm.
and he wasn't quite there when they actually finished the journey and got there. But this guy takes situations and makes them better. So
Mm-hmm.
if
and makes them stronger.
It makes them stronger. So if we're going to be hating on this guy because, oh, he's turning his back on the HBCUs and doggone it, those black kids, and I'll be doggone, he sold,
Man, I love you for that.
sold those 17 and 18-year-old boys and young men and the parents and their mamas saying that he's going to be there with them. He sold them up the river. No, he did not.
Mm-mm.
And I actually got a chance to listen to a couple of what he actually said to his football team just in speeches. And I've always loved Deion.
Mm-hmm.
I respected him even more when I saw it. I was like, oh, he's coming to him like a real man. He's being a man, and he's showing these young men how you're supposed to be man to man.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not shortchanging them. He wasn't sugarcoating a thing.
Nope.
He was being straight up. And then what upset me, when he actually addressed the Colorado team, people had the nerve to say, well, he's being too harsh. No, he's not.
No, it's not.
He's being truthful. He's like, look, I'm seeing some things that just doesn't look right to me. And quite frankly, some of you will not be here by the time we set foot onto Folsom Stadium in Boulder, Colorado, come September.
Mm-hmm.
and he actually said when one of the student athletes asked him, one of the football players asked him, he says, so how's the all-season worker going to be? He says, look, I'm going to tell you right now, the goal is for you to quit. That's the goal is for you to quit. And you know why the goal is for you to quit? Is because I want to find out who is not going to quit on this team. And I can find out in the spring. And I don't want to find out when we get to the football field, everything is fine. And then we get to the game and I find out, oh, I got a team full of quitters on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
He came to him real.
Yeah, he came to him real. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't see why anyone could have one critical thing to say about this guy. Not one.
Well,
not a one.
The black community went apeshit.
Right, because
that's what I led off with. That's exactly what I led off with, because my statement is the following. I want you to open that quote for me, because I'm going to make this a direct quote.
Okay. Here we go. Quote.
Deion Sanders doesn't owe the black community a doggone thing.
Close quote. And that is what upsets me. No, your statement does not. Actually, your statement's correct. Because he's done more than enough. Before he became Jackson State's head coach, he's done more than enough for our community.
That he has.
It's just he's just basically cherry on Sunday to me with that situation. Mm-hmm. The nerve of these people to say that he's abandoning HBCUs, he's abandoning the black culture, he's abandoning black people. I'm like, fools, this guy has donated more to, forget Jackson State, he's donated more to HBCUs than many of these alumni who are probably crying in their beer now saying, well, Deion's abandoning them children.
Let's stop here, take a break, and we'll continue this discussion, because I have a few stories to relate on that front when I got accused of abandoning the black community. We're going to put a pin in it there. We'll come back with more. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Have you had a chance to visit the brand new Snowman in the Morning shop yet? You haven't? Then what are you waiting for? Go to our new web address, snowmaninthemorning.com/shop shop. That's snowmaninthemorning.com/shop, where you can shop for all kinds of items like a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a book bag, and everything else that you need to have the same outfits and the same gear that the crew has. And with each purchase, you will be helping the Snow Strong initiative. We got a lot to do in a short time to get there. Go to snowmaninthemorning.com/shop and get the same stuff that the crew has. And when you do that, tell them Snowman sent you. Thanks.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
Steph Curry,
Tim Anderson,
Jordan Alvarez,
And it's caught! Debo Samuel with the catch!
Michael Jordan can sense it.
The Fro just got the king!
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson is brought to you by Penis Water for the ebbs and flows of life. Trust Penis 15 Water.
I hate you for pushing that button, but I love you for that also because you beat me to it by about 2 seconds. Cole and Snowman back here with you as we continue the Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Don't forget, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/SDM Sports Radio Network because we are trying to build something huge. And when I say huge, I mean just that. You can text the show at any time for those of you listening on the run at 812-274-5307. And you can also help us both with a cash app. The $ tag for me is Tallman Dr. K50, and for my partner is host Cole Johnson. Now, with all that out of the way, I saw one play in last night's game. One. Guess which one it is?
With the winning touchdown?
Yes. I paid attention to the alerts because I didn't want to watch that crap.
And as usual, the Saints made it really difficult for Brady. For some reason, the Saints just make it difficult for him. But Brady came back and they were down 16-3 with 3+ minutes to go in the game, and they roll out with a 17-16 victory
in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
2.5 minutes.
In 2.5 minutes.
So you know what the narrative is going to be if a certain Bradyite shows up here.
Yeah, Tom Brady is proof that he is the greatest quarterback of all time because of last night's performance.
Child, please. 17-16 is indeed the final. Tampa Bay wins. They now lead the NFC South, which, to borrow from a popular YouTuber, is the tank division.
Yeah, well, this year definitely is. I'm sorry. And from the Wonder Bread choir selection, because Tom Brady, they say, is not the greatest of all time, the selection is entitled "You Trippin'."
God, I love that. I love that.
7 rings, over 100,000 yards passing. Yes, bravo. But I still see 3 L's in Super Bowl. Now, whenever God can come down and erase those 3 L's, then we can talk greatest of all time. Until then, no, never. Those words will never come out of my mouth unless I am parroting him or clowning somebody. That's the only one. That's the only way you hear me say Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in NFL history.
You know, that same person who loves to send me little messages about Tom Brady and another you know who. And I promised myself I would not touch that this morning. Although it's like Thanksgiving. It's like Thanksgiving. You get a plate, you eat it, you want to get seconds, and you want to pile it up, and your stomach's going, "No, don't do it, man." And your eyes are going, screw it. And you fill up anyway, and you pay for it.
Yeah, and you feel even worse than you did before.
Yep. Yep. Deets in the chat. So the 3 L's trump the 7 wins? Yes. Yes.
Especially the last L, because 2 minutes ago in the game, he went
and coughed up the football. And coughed up the football. 500 yards, 505 yards in the Super Bowl. Absolutely fabulous. What happened in that Super Bowl?
Deets, I'll put it this way, sir. To you, who's the greatest basketball player of all time? And I'm asking that to you to prove a point.
Well, for me, you know who it is for me.
Yeah, it's the same for me.
Because I watched him play live in the NBA World Championship Series at Old Chicago Stadium, where I left without ears and a voice. I left without ears, man.
Look, I respect Brady. I do. Now, some decisions make me scratch my head, but I still respect him, and he has put forth a great body of work. Now, I'll say this: he is the most accomplished, I'll probably say now, football player in the history of the sport. Yes. I will say that. His resume is better than anybody else's that you could put up against,
including the fellow who I deem to be the greatest of all time.
Right. Yeah. Just by sheer time on the field. I mean, you can't shame a guy who's actually been on the football field for 22 years as a starter. So no, I'm not gonna hate on that. But yeah, I can't hate on that. But I have seen many quarterbacks other than him. And I could say there are few that are better, but I have seen the few which are better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Morning, Wise.
What's up, Wise?
Hope you're feeling better, man.
And when you bring up the point of your fandom saying and back it up with the fact that you have seen better, you and I both. I mean, hell, a black quarterback went to the CFL after leading the University of Washington, won 5 consecutive Grey Cups, and then came and kicked ass in the NFL. Does that tell y'all anything?
Yep.
I mean, let's go down the list. Warren Moon, who I just described, Jim Kelly, who I loved watching, not only at Miami, but with the Buffalo Bills. And by the way, Jim Kelly was a part of the Houston Gamblers.
Yes, he was.
And one of the greatest left-handed quarterbacks I ever saw play was plucked by Bill Walsh. His name, Steve Young.
I remember seeing him when he was in Brigham Young, and I was thinking, And then when he was with the Express, I was like, yeah, he's kind of, I like his style, but he seems to want to run a lot.
Yeah, he was raw.
And then cut to when Walsh got a hold of him, and I saw how he was in the early 90s. I was like, oh man, his style changed.
He needed the right coach.
And
he had the right coach in college with Lavelle Edwards.
Right, he did.
There's a name for you. There's a name for you.
I haven't heard in a
Late
minute.
great Lavelle Edwards.
Yeah. And Bill Walsh was that guy for him. And I love the fact that he could still scramble. And this is the point I always make with running quarterback fan.
Please do. Please make the point.
It is not that I do not want quarterbacks to run at all. No.
Right.
It is I want them to use the brain that they are supposed to have in that position where they actually say, okay, I want to put the ball in the hands of the best playmakers. And if in a given situation that happens to be me, fine. But it doesn't have to be that I have to be called to run 10, 12, 15 times a game in order to do it.
Which is why I have a slight problem with one Jalen Hurts. Because 1 week you can lead your team in rushing when you have capable running backs, and then the next week you throw for 380 yards and didn't have to run much. Now, part of that was the scheme against the team that you're competing with. That I understand. But, and I've said this about Lamar Jackson, combine the two, will you please?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Dietz, you're correct, sir. And here's why I could say, but I say until they erase Brady's 3 L's, how many people have 7 W's? Bill Russell, he has 11 wins, 11 rings. I can't think of another person who's won that many. But he does have, but he does have one blemish.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not the best player in his position. He wasn't the best player in his own era.
No, he wasn't.
And that's my point with Brady to Montana. It's like, yeah, he's cool and all, but I just saw someone who performed at the highest level at that same position better. And it's no slight to Tom Brady. I just have seen it.
And there's the thing that Bradyites don't understand about us and about folks like us. It is not a slight to Tom Brady at all.
He's one of the best to ever do it.
It's not a slight and never will.
No, he's
never
one of the best to ever
will
do
be
it.
a slight to Tom Brady. I mean, how many quarterbacks do you know have lasted 20 plus years?
The only one off the top of my head I can think of is George Blanda. And that's the only one I can think of.
He played 25 seasons.
That's the only one off the top of my head I can think of.
Different era, different time.
Mm-hmm.
Different era, different time.
Mm-hmm. But besides him, nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Yogi Berra. That's a nice example, Wise. Yeah. But do people call him the greatest baseball player of all time because he has that many rings?
No.
But it doesn't slight the fact that he is a champion. He's one of the greatest legends in baseball history.
I mean, you can't talk about baseball, even though a lot of us may not have seen him play.
Right.
You can't talk about baseball without mentioning Yogi.
Right.
You can't do that.
And see, I look at it that way. That is how it's going to be with Brady. We'll go on when we get older, and we'll say, well, this sport was never the same because we had number 12 of the Patriots and then the Bucks play it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to be pushed to say who was the best I ever saw, it wouldn't be him. And I'll even put it to Brady fan this way.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Brady and I look at him to Montana in the exact same way I look at Kobe Bryant in relation to Michael Jordan. I look at Brady and I'm like, wow, that is a watered down clone of Joe Montana. I have always thought that. Again, not a slight to Tom Brady because he grew up in the city where this guy amassed all those rings. So
and wore his jersey on the day the 49er dynasty and the legend of Montana in the NFL was born.
Yeah, so he was 4 when he saw when he saw that. So he got a chance to see the intervening 10 plus years where 9 years where they amassed those 4 rings with Montana being the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so who did you think Brady modeled himself after in those formative years?
Mr. Montana.
Right. So,
Mr. Montana.
Yeah.
And why is this right? This will always be a generational debate.
Why is this correct? Yeah.
It would always be a generational debate, and I realize that.
Mm-hmm. And another good point by McCarthy.
Henry Richard won 11 Stanley Cups, but is not regarded as the greatest of all time. Definitely top 100, but not the greatest of all time.
Because everybody will rush to say Wayne Gretzky before you even get the letter G out of the mouth when it comes to hockey. Who's Wayne Gretzky?
For me, there are two, and they will be linked forever. Wayne Gretzky is one, and the other is Super Mario Lemieux.
Lemieux is more my style of hockey player. I'll admit that. He's more my style.
Yeah. Like I said, there will always be two for me. Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
Okay. My Blackhawks had what would turn out to be a Hall of Fame goalie in their state, two Hall of Fame goalies in their stable in the 90s. Eddie the Eagle Belfour and a fellow named Dominic Hasek.
I've heard both names. I'm more familiar with Balfour, though. I've heard of both names. Yeah.
Yeah. Eddie the Eagle Belfour. And Wise says to me it would be Super Mario. But they're linked together.
Mm-hmm.
They're linked together forever as two of the greatest hockey players to ever do it. And yes, these are black men talking hockey on a sports program.
Cool.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? Look.
Yeah.
Let me go there before the break. You know what the narrative is?
Nick Russ shouldn't even talk about hockey or baseball. Yeah.
And we're going to talk baseball next because the rich are trying to get richer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What we're going to discuss next, A, is baseball, and B, defending your championship. So, and I got a huge smile on my face. We'll talk some baseball next. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Have you had a chance to visit the brand new Snowman in the Morning shop yet? You haven't? Then what are you waiting for? Go to our new web address, snowmaninthemorning.com/shop. That's snowmaninthemorning.com/shop, where you can shop for all kinds of items like a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a book bag, and everything else that you need to have the same outfits and the same gear that the crew has. And with each purchase, you will be helping the Snow Strong initiative. We got a lot to do in a short time to get there. Go to snowmaninthemorning.com/shop. and get the same stuff that the crew has. And when you do that, tell them Snowman sent you. Thanks.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Talk Monday.
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
Of course,
Steph Curry.
Tim Anderson.
Jordan Alvarez.
And it's caught. Debo Samuel with the catch. Michael Jordan can sense it.
The throw just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
LeBron James is trash as a basketball player.
Wow.
I will say that one more time.
You said it so easily.
I've been saying it for 20 years.
It just came fluidly out of your mouth, like it just flowed like waters of the of a fall, just dropping off a cliff.
Oh, you mean this sentence right here?
Quote.
LeBron James as a basketball player is pure, unadulterated trash and has been for 20 years.
Close quote.
Oh, the hatred I got for that statement.
I love how it just flows.
Let me try again. Let me try again. The hatred I get.
It's not over. Oh, I love that.
It never will. It never will be over.
You said
it never will be over.
You said it so fluidly. LeBron James is trash.
Boy, the hatred I get with that. Tampa Supreme in the house with us. Good morning to you. Supreme? And we got a spirited debate going on, talking hockey in the chat. This generation may say Ovechkin, according to Wise. Connor McDavid may have something to say about that, according to Mr. McCorfey. I always say a knowledge of sports is my favorite history class because I may not know every name, but I'm going to learn a lot. Well, you're getting an education this morning, Victor.
Beautiful, Victor. I'm with you on that.
Like I get one with the sports programs I do watch. Mm-hmm. It's a history lesson for me.
Yeah,
I'm a history buff. I'm a sports history buff.
So understand where I come from. So unlike Snowman, who comes from a hockey rich area in Chicago, Houston, we don't really deal with hockey all that much. So I had to sneak looks at hockey, not out of embarrassment, just out of interest, because Texas, it's all about football.
Yes,
and of course,
all about the Houston Oilers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all about football. If it's not the Oilers back then, of course it was whatever college you represented, and if it wasn't a college, it was all about high school, because high school in Texas, like very few states, it's a very big deal.
It is.
So outside of football, yeah, we like basketball and yeah, we like baseball.
Speaking of Houston,
go on.
Yeah,
but hockey, they're still trying actually to get an AHL team there. The interest really isn't there, and they tried to do minor league hockey there, and yeah, you had some interest, but not a lot. So
a little tune for you, courtesy of the Houston Cougars. Who's the number one team in college basketball, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
The Houston Cougars. Who would have thunk it?
Bro, shout out to Kelvin Sampson. Oh my gosh, yes. Because people were thinking this program was done for.
Dead.
Ivy Lewis
dead.
Left. After you had Clyde Drexler and Akeem Olajuwon go and play pro and Guy Lewis leave, they left the program for dead. I did not think I was ever going to hear University of Houston and number one in the country in the same sense ever again in life. But thanks to Kelvin Sampson, that has happened.
And
that's to the program.
The last time they were number one in the country, I give you 3 words. Phi Slamma Jamma,
which is almost 40 years ago.
The game against Louisville in the pit in Albuquerque. They need to. I wish they would.
One of the best basketball games. I don't care what level I have ever watched.
I mean, for old time's sake, they need to have a Final Four in the pit. Because
Well, it's
at the
unfortunate
time when I got started, I
we
know.
won't have Final Fours in that type of stadium, that type of
No,
arena
we
ever
won't.
again, which is
Because the last
unfortunate.
arena that hosted the Final Four, as we jump to college basketball history, the last arena that hosted the Final Four was the Meadowlands,
Right.
1996.
That's
Since
unfortunate.
then, they've been in domes.
Mm-hmm. That's unfortunate. Not that I'm hating on domes.
Right. No, we're not. We're not hating on. We're not hating on it. We just know what we grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first national championship game I saw occurred at the Spectrum in Philadelphia in 1981.
81. Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Thomas and the Indiana Hoosiers
won it all. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Then you had, of course, the legendary 82 game.
And that was at the Superdome.
Georgetown and North Carolina, which is why Patrick Ewing and Michael Jordan are always 1-2 for me.
And that is the game. You circle that game, March 29, 1982. That was the game where NCAA said, we can actually hold the Final Four in places like the Superdome. 3 years beforehand, that was when college basketball said, NCAA said, oh, we can market this. Okay. Because that was, of course, Indiana State versus Michigan State. Bird on one end, Magic on the end. And that ended up being the highest rated basketball game ever watched on TV. And 43 years later, that still stands today. There has never been a basketball game that has drawn as much ratings as that one. 1979, the NCAA Finals, NCAA National Championship. I challenge anybody to find another basketball game that actually had better ratings than
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Salt Lake City, Utah. Mm-hmm.
At the Huntsman Center.
Mm-hmm.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
So yeah, I'd circle that game. I think March 26th was when they played it.
Yes.
So I circled March 26, 1979 and March 29, 1982. That's the two hallmark moments for college basketball. Because because I think NCAA said, oh, with the 79 game, okay, we can actually market this. This can become national. And 82, it was like, okay, we can actually host in a big venue.
62,000 plus
in
the Superdome on that night. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You ever take a drink and it goes down the wrong pipe?
Often.
That's what just happened when I took a drink of water here. 9 minutes before the hour, taking a trip down memory lane. But when I saw Michael Jordan hit that shot, and my whole family was watching it, we were all like, damn. Because an 18-year-old freshman,
steely nerve.
I'm talking to you, bronzexuals. Listen to me carefully. Listen to this history lesson carefully. An 18-year-old freshman, it would have been 19 at the time because his birthday's in February.
Yeah, it would have been 19. Yep.
A 19-year-old freshman hit the game-winning shot in front of 62,000 people and brought his team to a, say it with me, national championship.
Oh, and I thought Jordan liked the jump shot.
You know what? Can I go there? Can I go there?
I mean, that's what I heard.
In many ways, in many ways, when he got to North Carolina, he was very much raw.
Oh, he was
high school in
raw.
Wilmington.
Oh yeah, he was extremely raw.
But then
he'll be the first to tell you.
Unlike LeBron, God dog it, I said his name. Unlike him, I'm sorry, Wise. Unlike him, he got plucked by Dean E. Smith.
Thank the Lord.
And Dean Smith, the three greatest college basketball coaches, in my opinion, in no particular order: Dean Smith, Mike Krzyzewski, and here's a name for you. Actually, I'll give you 4. 3, Guy V. Lewis, and the 4th one, Jerry Tarkanian. The late great Jerry Tarkanian.
Didn't meet a towel he disliked. A wet towel, I mean. Didn't meet a wet towel he disliked.
I love you, Victor, for this. Craig Elo.
Craig Elo.
What did Jim Durham say in that clip I showed you from 91? And it always happens to Craig Elo.
And
when MJ hit the game I'm describing was from the 90-91 season. They were playing the Bulls were playing the Cavaliers at old Chicago Stadium. He backed it, and thank you, Wise. I totally forgot about.
And then of course there is the Wizard of Westwood.
Wooden is on the list also. Thank you, Wise, for that. Jordan backed in, got fouled by Elo, and threw it over his head, and it softly went in the basket.
What sucks about that is Elo actually was a pretty good player.
Yes,
he actually was a pretty good basketball player. I mean, I don't mean he was run of the mill. He actually was pretty good. He was one of the major options on that Cavs team, which was a really good team.
Yes,
it just so happened, and he was a good defender. It just so happens that he was
a hell of a defender. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah,
Craig Elo was not a scrub.
No, not
unlike some of the folks we see today in the NBA. Total scrubs getting minutes. Okay,
it just goes to show how great Michael Jordan really was.
I echo the words of Jim Durham, and it always happens to Craig Elo. I'm going to find that clip tomorrow, and I'm going to play it during my broad sexual confession, because
I've heard it once. I heard that once.
I'm loaded for bear for tomorrow.
Oh, Lord. Oh, good Lord.
I'm loaded for bear for tomorrow, and I hope you are too. Matter of fact, I know you are. I just don't know which character is going to come out. This is Cole we're talking about, folks. And Cole, let me show you some love right now. Let me show you some flowers right now. You, my friend, were the perfect and only candidate I had in mind to be my partner on this show and give it the sense of order it needed. And that could not have been more true beginning in April of this year when I went in the hospital to have my surgery. I mean, creative as all get out this show is, yes, but you, my friend, instilled the order that it needed. I mean, when you send me the whip around every morning, I'm digging, I'm looking at stories, I'm getting timing down for when we sell sponsorships and advertisers. And believe me, we are doing that, and we are putting our due diligence in for that. I mean, I love you. You put the foundation back on the foundation, if that makes sense. Because when I started this show 9 years ago, I had a mixer, I had a laptop, and I had a headset and a handheld microphone. And I had a broadcast headset also. And I started at my mother's house. I said, F it. Let me see what I can do. Found a way to stream it on Winamp, put it on. I started putting it on social media, and people started tuning in. So now, with that came the chance to really build this thing. And that is when Victor got in my ear. And Victor said, you know what? This is not a project. You may only be in your first year, but this is no longer a project. This is a moneymaker. I said, what? 9 years later, I had the same statement repeated to me by someone very, very dear to me. And you know who that is.
You live with her. You live with her.
I married her. I mean, look me in the eyes and say, look, I know you love doing play-by-play and it's your healing factor, but your show is going to be your moneymaker. Make it such.
Oh, and then put a challenge at the end of it too.
Hell yeah, and I'm taking it on. She put a challenge at the end of it, and I looked her in the eye and I said, "You got it."
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, what can you do when you have words like that? I mean, one of the first things she told me was she said, "Look, I've accomplished every goal I wanted to accomplish. I want to see you accomplish yours." And my whole body and spirit went, what? You actually
That's
And she
awesome.
looked me in the eye. She says, I believe in you. Go get it. And I will help you go get it. Let me repeat that. She said, I believe in you. No, open it. Open it, please.
All right. All right. She said, quote,
I believe in you. Go get it. I'm going to help you go get it.
Close quote.
The words of the late, great Jim Valvano are in my head right now. And I want the men to listen carefully. The greatest gift. No, I did it wrong again. The words of the late, great Jim Valvano are in my head. And I want the men to listen carefully. Open it.
Quote.
The greatest gift you can give to a man is your belief in him.
Close quote.
Let me say that again for those of us at Old Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh.
Quote.
The greatest gift you can give to a man is your belief in him.
Close quote.
And there's our cap to this hour.
Well, I guess with that being said, hour 2 starts now. On your mark, get set. Let's go.
'Cause we take this job so serious.
All of it between two people and 4 nostrils. All of it was gone.
LeBron James is pure, unadulterated trash as a basketball player and has been for 20 years.
We don't want to see.
Wait a minute. We don't want to see.
Number 420. YSL. Number 420.
I had to do it. Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
It sure is. And we're live on YouTube and on the BS3 network as well as the SDM Sports Radio Network. You can text the show at any time at 812-274-5307. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/SDM Sports Radio Network. And also you can hit us with the Cash App. For those of you watching, you see the tags at the bottom of your screen. For those of you listening, the $ for me is Tallman Dr. K50. And for my wonderful partner, the $, the tag is $ host Cole Johnson. Now, with all that out of the way, I'm going to introduce something that I never thought I would have a chance to do. And I know I'm late in doing it this season. I am very late, but I don't care. I had to get it in my mind. I had to really work at it to get it right. Give me my list.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
List is presented by SeatGeek. Use the code Snowman when you're scouring the internet for resale, for tickets on the resale for any event, concerts, sporting events. Use the code Snowman and get $20 off of your first purchase. I'm going to do that read even better when I actually type or write the thing. Yeah, I can't improvise as much anymore. I'm old. This is the list. This is my top 5 entering week 14 with now this week in the books, and I think that should be week 13. No, that's week 14. I got it right. My brain hurts. It should be should be entering week 14. All right, here we go with the list. Number 5, the Miami Dolphins. Figure it out, Tua. You can't be consistent one week and inconsistent the next, and you have 2 good running backs there, Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr., plus you got a former offensive coordinator for a team I'm going to mention later. Figure it out, Tua.
Do they want to use them?
And that's the key question.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, the Buffalo Bills. The conundrum of Josh Allen. Should I run? Should I throw? Find a balance, Josh. Please. That's what I'm begging you. Find a balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know why earlier I said Josh Allen could be Jim Kelly? I see the same tools.
And he could be.
I see the same people thought I was crazy for saying that.
No, you're not. He could be.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a Jim. And in fact, I think he could fashion himself to be a Jim Kelly type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he's got a fabulous arm. Okay. Can
That
drop
arm is awesome.
dimes in a heartbeat. You got your weapons, but the reason I put the Bills at 4, lack of a running game.
Or lack of a trust of their running game.
Right. Even better. Even better. Even better. Number 3, Skull. And I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with them. Here's what I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with them, and you know what that shoe is.
Yeah.
I don't need to say anything more. Number 2, these guys lost 2 quarterbacks, and they've won 5 in a row. And a rookie shall lead them. And there's a rumor going around that Mr. Mayfield, who was released, is headed to the Bay.
What did I say to you the moment the wire came down for Mayfield to be released?
Yep. Yep. But see, this kind of tears me because, well, let's just put it bluntly. Baker Mayfield's been awful and inconsistent as hell.
Last year. He definitely was awful last year. And he's been horrible this year. Horrible.
I mean, horrible. But then you have the mind of Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
You have the mind of Kyle. Can he rescue Mayfield? But as far as that rumor goes, I'll believe it when I see it. And at number 1, you got these guys, the Philadelphia Eagles. What can you say about the Philadelphia Eagles? The NFC is going to go through Philadelphia. All right? The NFC Championship game is going to go through Lincoln Financial Field.
That performance Sunday. Oh, my gosh.
He single-handedly kicked Tennessee's ass. Single-handedly. I said it. Oh, my gracious. Yeah, so Victor Locke says, so Baker's not the answer for Carolina? Who'd have thunk it? Exactly.
100, Vic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy. That's my list. Close it.
Yo, Kang sucks. I love that.
Such a catchy, says Andrew. And good morning to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. Morning to you, sir.
Pizzle says, fins up. They were talking about Jason Voorhees, and Ryan McCarthy says, I'm not tall enough. I'm not going to dress as Jason Voorhees, and I'm taller. Hell no. You just saw that. We just read that comment.
Mm-hmm.
So field on the games don't matter. There's a certain 9-3 team that beat the number 3 team by 20 points 2 weeks ago.
There's a couple of omissions.
I'm not putting them in the list.
There's a couple of omissions. That was one of them. And
then,
actually, there's another team. There's another team that's 9-3 that was submitted.
because I literally wrote that this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I literally wrote that this morning. Okay, I don't care about the Cowboys. They're 3.
All right, I'll put it this way: Cowboys
But
9-3. You have to make sure
until
that
they do it in
look.
until they do it in,
I think what my partner's saying is until they do it in January,
then
he won't believe that they're the team that they're supposed to be, that everybody makes them out to be. Oh, and the team,
unless Troy Aikman,
I was going to say, or unless the team that Michael Irvin Monday morning basically said, oh, I love this quote, they are the NFC representative in the Super Bowl. Close quote. After their 54-19 butt whooping they gave the Colts Sunday night.
Yeah. What the hell ever.
I put it in the BS3 network chat, and I basically said 3 words: get your mans. Get your mans. Because I'm sorry, I do not see Super Bowl caliber team on this squad. I don't. The defense is getting close to that. I don't see it. I don't see it. Because I see too many teams that are better than they are. It's just that simple. Now, Andrew says Chiefs. I can't climb the snowman's brain on this one, but I can actually I can actually take the temperature of the room. And many are probably not liking the defense that the Chiefs put forth. And I think that's the issue because they're up and down, they're sometimey. And I think that's the issue that people have nationwide when it comes to critiquing them. Because it's like, okay, it's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, he has some good weapons. Definitely the biggest weapon of all is Travis Kelce. But for them, it's can the defense give you that key stop late in games? So they saw it Sunday in Cincinnati. The answer to that question is no. But the team that beat them can. So there you have the rub as to why I think a lot of people are actually having the Chiefs either 5 or even lower. And as far as the Cowboys,
I didn't do a top 10. I did a top 5 because I improvised.
Yeah, and as far as the Cowboys are concerned, let's be honest. It's all about them getting to the NFC Championship game. And if they stop short of there, everybody will consider that season a failure. No matter how wonderful stud Micah Parsons is, no matter how stout of a defensive lineman DeMarcus Lawrence is, no matter how they want to label Trayvon Diggs as a shutdown corner, he's not.
No.
As much as we want to lift up the tandem of Pollard and Elliott in the backfield, and as much as we want to make Dakota Prescott an elite quarterback, and they want to make CeeDee Lamb an elite number 1 wide receiver.
Dear God.
If the team can make it to the end of January, then they'll probably say it's a mildly successful season. But with all that talent, and they don't make it there, they're going to say that team's a failure. And I think that holds a lot of people, holds back a lot of people from saying, "Oh yeah, the Cowboys, they're up there," unless you're a Cowboys fan.
And the bad part is they're still going to sing their praises.
Oh, of course they are. That's right. Dak is a Hall of Farmer.
Hall of Farmer. I remember the first day you played that. When you put that graphic up. People don't know how to freaking spell.
Yeah, they don't.
You understand me? People don't know how to freaking spell.
Yeah.
And that's
no, they don't.
And that graphic right there that you put up, I may ask you to find it again.
I think I
for
can find
Friday.
It. I think I can find it. For Friday?
Find it again for Friday.
Yeah, I think I can find it.
But that's why I don't have the Chiefs in my top 5 and I don't have the Cowboys in my top 5 because the Chiefs got whacked by the Bengals again.
And that's another thing. The Bengals proved that it wasn't It was the fact that the Chiefs, it was proven that you could be physical against them. And I give Chiefs the credit. They actually wanted to be physical back, and they were slightly successful in doing so. But they just couldn't get that big time, big play down the field.
Yeah.
Like the Bengals could, and still smash them in the mouth. So I think
with a backup running back, because remember, Joe Mixon was out with an injury.
Yeah, Joe Mixon
was out with an injury, and Samaje Perine of Oklahoma fame
gave you over 100 yards.
Smacked him in the mouth.
Gave you over 100 yards. That to me, I find, this is actually a broken record, because we saw it in the game in Indy where Taylor tore him up. So if they can bolster that, it's almost like we're saying the similar thing about the Chiefs defense as we did about the Eagles defense last month. If they can shore up their defensive line to stop the run, then this team could be back in the Super Bowl. But if you cannot plug that hole up, you're gonna have more teams exploiting that.
And it's a big hole to plug up.
And it's a big hole to plug.
It's a big hole. It's a big hole to plug up. As far as the Cowboys go, I have nothing against their talent, okay? But you're hyping up Micah Parsons, and he is a stud.
And he'd probably be Defensive Player of the Year this year.
He would be. No, he's not going to be Defensive Player of the Year, and I will tell you why. There's a certain player in the Bay that's going to be
Nick Bosa. I don't think they're going to. Look. Unfortunately, they're not hyping him as much as they're hyping Parsons. I would love for it to be Bosa, and he's going to win it one day. I don't think he's going to win it this year.
Leads the lead. Let me play devil's advocate the same way Chris does, very, very expertly. And Chris, I love you for this. Leads the league in a very important category. Sacks.
Agreed.
14 and a half. But you're right, because of Micah Parsons being hyped up the way that he's being hyped up. He is probably going to, in a runaway, win Defensive Player of the Year. And I got to honestly say, I don't mind that. Micah Parsons is a stud.
Right.
All right. He's a flat out stud.
And the same as Bosa. The dude's a stud too. No question about that.
No.
None. About that.
None. Let's take a break here. We come back and we'll talk some baseball. Yes, there are black men that are going to talk baseball, and lots of it. We'll do that. Huh? What'd you say?
That's it. Drat.
And he says that with a smile on his face, and I say the same with a smile on my face.
We're losing our street cred.
I never had it, so I don't care.
I don't give a crap about if ever someone gave
me one. Street cred can kiss the back of my ass as far as I'm concerned. I love talking sports, all of them.
I do.
And we're going to talk baseball when y'all get back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Have you had a chance to visit the brand new Snowman in the Morning shop yet? You haven't? Then what are you waiting for? Go to our new web address, snowmaninthemorning.com/shop. That's snowmaninthemorning.com/shop, where you can shop for all kinds of items like a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a book bag, and everything else that you need to have the same outfits and the same gear that the crew has. And with each purchase, you will be helping the Snow Strong initiative. We got a lot to do in a short time to get there. Go to snowmaninthemorning.com/shop and get the same stuff that the crew has. And when you do that, tell them Snowman sent you. Thanks.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
from a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Let's Talk Monday. Woo!
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
For Steph Curry.
Tim Anderson.
Jordan Alvarez.
And it's caught. Deebo Samuel with the catch. Michael Jordan can sense.
The throw just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
So I realized that I think, even though it's not advertised,
right,
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion.
Right now. Oh, there we go. Okay, what's got you laughing now? And I'm wearing the hat of my first college baseball team that I broadcast in a few years. That's the Lewisburg Hurricanes. So I'm showing them some love this morning. Okay, what'd you say?
You cut the stupid university commercial short. That's why I was laughing.
I did?
Yes, you did.
I must have hit a button by mistake.
That's okay.
I must have hit a button by... Oh, Lord. I mention him and he shows up. Damn it.
Rod West says reports are saying that Deion Sanders is getting Willie Taggart and Sean Lewis to join his staff. Well, that might be true. That really might be true. I just think that it would be a mistake on his behalf if that's the case. But for the statement that is on the screen,
I don't remember asking you a thing.
Feedback zone we go. Victor Law says, good morning, Rod. Let's wait till Christmas to ask for miracles. And Vic, thank you so much for something that everybody will be blessed with at some time later in the week. 6 says, congratulations on your master's degree from Stupid University, Rod. Come check out Rod Uncensored. Nice plug. I like that. Willie Taggart is a great offensive coordinator, says Fit Down Sports. Okay, Dietz, he might be, but I believe he has the way to actually tap into better offensive minds than him. Rod says Warriors are done. Bishop, are the Warriors done?
Whoa. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. Yeah. To the no, no, no.
Deet says, yes, terrible head coach, great offensive play caller. Might be. Like I said, I just believe that he has connections to better minds on offense, in my opinion. But hey, if that's the case, more power to him. And if he feels that's the guy, hey, okay. Oh, Deet says, whacked? They lost by 3 on the road. Oh, Lord, I tell you. Let's see, I'm trying to go. Deets also says, look, Victor, the last 3 weeks, Cowboy fan to Cowboy fan. The last 3 weeks have been promising, and they're going in the right direction. Victor says, we as Cowboys fans need to be more consistent and more focused, and Cowboys need and focus on more smash mouth football. I've been saying this about the Cowboys the last 3 years. I've been saying that they've been trying to push Dak Prescott to be basically trying to push him to when he came close to throwing over 5,000 yards in the season. They've been trying to get him to that so hard that they just simply eschew what they do best. They are a run-oriented team that play actions off of it, beats a team deep when a defense decides to stack 7 and 8 and 9 in the box, and defensively they get after you. Now, they couldn't get after you like they can now, but they had the ability to get after you a little bit. Now, you put forth that running attack, which they can give you 150, 200 yards if you actually stick with it. And you can have the defense pin the ears back and just go after it.
Very unseen words a few moments ago, and I'm glad y'all didn't hear them.
Mm-hmm.
Having problems here in the studio. Please, please, please forgive me.
The Barge brothers are done and Warriors are cooked. Snowman, tell MJ to sell the team.
Okay, Rod. I'm staying calm because I'm half asleep still. I'm doing this without caffeine, and I got to remind myself of that because I haven't touched a piece of caffeine. I will admit, Saturday, I did go to Starbucks after I drove to and from East Central. I needed the boost, but I did it small so my stomach wouldn't go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
No caffeine Sunday, no caffeine Monday, and so far no caffeine today. Although I may have to cheat because of this basketball roster that I have to fill in and a game I have to do tonight. See how the body reacts. And I know I can beat. I know I can kick the caffeine habit. There's one thing I need to do more of. Sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now,
what was on your
Rod's
mind?
comment back up, please. That's where we were.
Well, I'm sorry. Which one? Because he came back with another one. This one or this one? Well, he gets back with which one he wants to put forth. Deet says last week's Cole, 150 versus Minnesota, 160 versus Giants, and 220 versus Indianapolis. That has been my point. It's as if the coaching staff has forgotten that they could do that, and it took the injury to Dak and the game plan they implemented with Cooper Rush for them to really get it through their thick skull. Oh, the ticket for us to go as far as we can is to run the ball more. So yes, finally, I think it took that L they had in Green Bay, the one that you mentioned, the Green Bay L that. Well, I'm sorry, that's not the one. The Green Bay L where they lost only by a field goal in overtime. I think it was that really shook them, and they said, "Okay, yeah, we need to run the ball more." And look at the results. They've been undefeated ever since then. And then he says, like I said, shows promise in the last 3 weeks. I'm not saying that there isn't any promise to be shown there. I still will maintain there are better teams than the Cowboys. And I think that's the issue that I have. Otherwise, yeah, when they actually can put forth stats like that, they're hard to beat. I'll admit that. 6 says Rod West has wet. Oh Lord, Rod West has wet dreams. Huh?
Don't read the rest of that. It's Rod West we're talking about. Being, oh Lord.
Yeah, I have to. Tina Marie, sucker for LeBron. Cole, what would Rick James have to say about that? Sucker for love, sucker for love, sucker for love, baby.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I'm just a sucker for your love, for your love. And yes, he would say,
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
He would know. Victor says about the Cowboys. Yes, Victor says yes. It's a positive shift in the journey, but we haven't hit the destination yet. Thank you, Victor. This is why I love Cowboys fans that actually has reason to them, right? Because people celebrated the 12, what was it, 12-5, 11-6, whatever the heck it was last year, but they won the NFC East. Everyone celebrated the Cowboys having this pretty good season. And people were quick to say, well, they're going to the Super Bowl. They meet up with a team that could punch them in the mouth and keep punching them in the mouth and keep punching them in the mouth. And in the wild card round, boop, out they go. And this is why I say that the Cowboys will not go very far in the playoffs. Victor's comment right here. Yes, Pennywise the clown is allergic to running the ball. Because when you tighten up the screws, which is what the game in Lambeau proved, Mr. McCarthy will shy away from running the ball. And I made 6 days. Says, exactly. Thank you, Cole. Yeah, I knew you'd like that. And Deed says, oh, we get the Texans this week. That's another 200 yards rushing. Look, don't get me started on them. Don't get me started on them. So you may have heard that one Mr. Kyrie Irving has parted ways with Nike. Yeah. Supposedly, they simply don't want to have anything to do with Kyrie. I think this has been in the making for a long time, personally. And I say that in all honesty because, well, how can Nike profit off of a guy who simply doesn't see his way on the field? Help me understand that. I can't see it. I don't see it. I don't think I ever will see it. But this actually follows an initial suspension of the partnership that Kyrie had with Nike. And the release of the Kyrie 8 shoe was supposed to be coming. The latest in the Hebrews and Negro sharing on social media killed all of that. Nike had this to say about it. Quote, Kyrie Irving is no longer a Nike athlete. Close quote.
Oh, he ain't?
No, they terminated their partnership with them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Kyrie.
Praise dance, please.
I'll get to the praise
dance. Can I
dance.
get the praise dance, please?
You'll get it. You'll get it in a minute. Kyrie tweeted, quote, anyone who has even spent their hard-earned money on anything I've ever released, I consider you family, and we are forever connected. It's time to show how powerful we are as a community. Close quote. Now, I will say this in all honesty. It sounds wonderful coming out your mouth, Kyrie, that you consider people who buy your shoes family. But when they will not buy your shoe in droves because they don't want to see whatever supplier is going to be sponsoring you, if one does, because it isn't the hot Nike or even a Reebok or an Adidas. Oh, you can't even go Adidas or Puma because there's Jewish people who are in the upper reaches of ownership there. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yep.
But to appease my partner, I think Nike as well. I think they did this in their boardroom when they released Kyrie Irving from partnering up with their company.
Do it again. Do it again.
And then, of course, they had to go real in. They're like, ooh, we don't have to deal with this headache anymore. We don't have to even entertain this space cadet. Man, I think Nike felt free, and in the music in the background, I think that was playing in their boardroom too, because they were feeling.
Yeah,
they were
loud, 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 loud. I tell you, loud.
Oh, they were celebrating.
Yeah, fans alike.
Mm-hmm. So,
you know, I love you for this, right?
Oh, I know you do. Thank you.
You know, I love you for this.
Mm-hmm. It's to me, it's just ridiculous. As a business, and people gonna be saying, well, Kyrie's getting the short end of the stick. He's being disrespected. How? Think of it as a business. And I think people seem to forget this about these partnerships. Think of it as a business. Whenever you see a customer base say, because you support this, I am not going to support you, and they see it coming in droves, chances are the big wigs up top are going to say to whatever it is the product is, and they will pull that product, whatever it is, off the shelves quick, fast, in a hurry, because they want to make money.
Effectively pull the plug.
Yeah. And effectively pull the plug, which they should, because they don't want the bottom line to be affected. Just because this is sports does not mean business and economics doesn't play a part. In fact, economics and business play a huge part in sports. I mean, how many times have we talked about issues where we said, well, why is this happening? Like such the example of, well, why in the world would the NCAA want to have 4 teams but not 12?
Mm-hmm.
And how many times have the answer has been money? And it's just one of the examples that sports and economics come into the sports sphere. This is yet another example. What you have a guy who, before even the Hebrews the Negroes sharing on social media from Kyrie happened.
He's been doing stupid stuff well before that happened.
Before all of that, the dude is considered a head case. And I'm not saying this to be foul, to be disrespectful, to be injurious, or even to be slanderous. I mean, there's just times that he has said one thing and it sounds articulate, and then he will say something articulate again about the same thing, but it's almost on the opposite spectrum of it. You know, like he believes the earth is flat. I mean, but then backdoor and say, well, actually, I now got an education, the earth is round. That is what I'm talking about with him. And it's gotten more and more ridiculous by the year with him. I mean, if it's not he stiffs his teammates because they decide to take the vaccine, but he doesn't, then it's he decides to take off because January 6th, back 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, traumatized him. Yet we saw him celebrating with his sister when the Nets were playing somewhere. And he went AWOL to do it. And when his whereabouts were discovered, then that's when it was all good in the hood, so to speak. And if it wasn't that, it was he wanted to crap on the direction of the NBPA when it came to the bubble. He felt this, whoa, heck, we shouldn't play in the bubble. We shouldn't even entertain playing in the bubble, where everyone else is like, we are. to the point where he wanted to stage somewhat of a coup in doing this, going against everybody else in the NBPA, saying, okay, we should honor the end of this season, even if it is going to be in a sterilized environment such as a bubble. But he did that because he knew his Nets were not going to make the playoffs in the bubble. So it's things like that. All of those things make you say this guy is an absolute space cadet.
He's an imbecile.
And now you're starting to see that he's affecting the money. And when you affect the money,
you're gone.
That's when the big problems start to happen.
The CEOs of both Adidas and Puma are Scandinavian. However, the companies are still in Germany, but still on the opposite sides of the Arak River, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't say that they are owned by Jewish people, but I know there's in the upper reaches of both companies.
There's a comment I should not put up by Dietz.
I'll put this one up by Brian. Guys, brother again is in my office and he won't stop jumping up and down.
Victor,
oh Lord,
I totally blame you for this. I'm not even going to read it aloud.
Victor, we need Wise to pump up his Giants, or we might have to summon Uncle Foot when the Eagles travel to Monstrosity in the Windy City.
Yeah, the monstrosity that was once upon a time known as Soldier Field. And I say was known once upon a time as, because now they've turned it into a blankety blank doggone spaceship. So, considering the fact,
oh man,
just a minute. Considering the fact that,
and I agree with you, Dietz, 100% on that. I agree with you on that.
I agree with Dietz also. But considering the fact that there was a magic word,
mm-hmm.
Ancient spirits of evil transform this decayed body into glory, the ever living. You best not do what you. Too late, Wise. Too late, Wise.
Cole, you best not do what you're thinking about. Oh no, it's gonna be done. It's gonna be done, Mr. Wise and Jefe.
It's already done.
And you have Mr. Victor Locke to think about. Thank to that. Because I will do this real quick. Hold on, let me see if I can put this here.
Let's face it, folks. Oh, thank you, Sick, for this. Let's face it, folks. Kyrie Irving is as narcissistic as LeBron James. That's why when Kyrie Irving left Duke University after 11 games, Mike Krzyzewski in his mind said, "Get the hell out. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out."
Mm-hmm.
Period. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
Mr. Wise?
That's what Nike said to Kyrie. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Mr. Wise, you have Mr. Locke to thank for this, because we ended yesterday's show with the following quote: "Take care and be good, or the ever living will get you." It won't be now.
Well, Victor.
It won't be now.
Doggone it.
It will be at some point, but it won't be now. How you doing, Cool?
What's up, cool? As
Not,
some,
not on
let
top
me
of
use a
COVID.
word of yours. At some point,
That's right. At some point, you will see Uncle Foot. It won't be now, but at some point, you will see that hideous beast.
what do you call the
Mum Ra. Yes, cool. Mum
Yes,
Ra,
cool.
aka the Chicago mayor. Yes.
I did the chant. I did the chant.
Yeah, and he loves doing the chant for
I
some
did
reason.
the chant.
He loves doing it for some reason. I don't know why. Why is this on top
I
of
did
battling
the
COVID? Now I'm blind.
I'm blind. Oh, nice. In all seriousness, please heal up and get well, because COVID's no joke.
Heck no,
I
man.
dealt with it earlier this year.
Yeah, I got it early on when the pandemic
I
began.
dealt with it
It
earlier
was
this
horrendous
year.
for me. Ooh. It was horrendous for me. I mean, to the point where I was, let me see, about at least once a week for about a month solid, I blew blood out of my nose. So yeah, that's no joke. It's no joke. Six says, I'm glad I grew up watching the Silverhawks instead of the Thundercats. Victor says, okay, I did do that. I got caught. Oh man, I love you guys. Deet says, so wise. If you don't want Uncle Foot being summoned every day next week, get the Giants to win on Sunday. Well, the problem is he couldn't get the Giants to win this past Sunday, but at least they tied. Dude, cool, says he couldn't smell for weeks. Dude, I couldn't either. I couldn't smell for weeks, and I couldn't stop coughing for months. And you know when you're well and you can actually walk about, but all of a sudden, like at least once every couple of hours, I'd be like, that was me for about literally the first half of 2020. I mean, 6-7 months straight. Every day, like about 2-3 hours, I'd be like, could not smell for weeks, and I could not stop coughing for months.
For me and Jody, when we contracted COVID, I just and you know what's wild? The day that I felt it coming on and didn't know what it was, Christmas Day last year. Because I know I have points, and this is before I went in for surgery. I know I have points where my body just gets overly tired because I push so much.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Day with the family at my in-laws' place, I was fine. And then I went, it was 61 degrees that afternoon. I went outside with a couple of my nieces.
Mm-hmm.
I came back in and I started sniffling, and it was 61 degrees. That told me then I was in trouble. But the big hit, when we were done opening presents and my wife said, why don't you get something more to eat? All I wanted to do was sleep.
Yeah, the appetite was gone, and you were
The
just
appetite
zapped.
was gone. My energy just bottomed out.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I think I'm going to go lay down.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't wake up for like 12 hours.
Dude.
And Jody woke me up while I was in the midst of that deep sleep and said, we better run a COVID test right now. So, all right. We did the test. It came back positive, and I fell back to sleep. That's how, oh man,
Your second bout. Oh, my brother, man. Yeah. Please heal up fast, bro.
I
Man.
feel for you,
I feel
Wise.
for you. I feel for you, brother.
I feel for you, Wise.
So for me, and this was before they even named it COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
So oh wow, almost 3 years ago. So I had a business trip to go to, and it was actually to Philly, and it was cool. I loved it. early February 2020. I was fine the whole week leading up to the trip.
Mm-hmm.
The day of, I get on the plane, fly to Philly. Everything is great until I start to eat. I eat dinner, and I ate, and it was like a normal portion that I could just put down with no problem, and I didn't eat much.
Mm-hmm.
I was having issues putting it down. I actually put it down, but I had issues just putting it down. So I finished my meal, and I had a slight problem getting up. So I got up, called my wife when I got to the hotel room, settled down, and went to bed. Tried to go to sleep, and it was about 9 when I tried to go to sleep.
Yes.
9 turned to 10, 10 turned to 11, 11 turned to midnight, midnight turned to 1. Did not sleep at all.
Mm.
And then starting about 1:15, I would get these like 30-minute naps in,
Yes.
followed by a cough,
Mm-hmm.
followed by staying up another half hour before I'd go back to sleep. And the cycle kept going to about 6.
Mm-hmm.
And and then the full day of the business trip meeting that I had took place. And I felt okay, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't eat a thing. And so we cut to when we had to go eat dinner that night.
Yeah.
Go to this Chinese restaurant, vegan Chinese restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and I could do nothing but cough. I could do nothing but cough. And we
Mm-hmm.
walked to and from that place. And mind you, this is early February in Philly, so we're talking about the temperature outside was like in the 30s,
Yeah.
which was okay. I mean, heck, I've walked in colder.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to muster my way to the restaurant and walk back to the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Walk back to the hotel room. I slept okay, got up, and I had the worst headache
Oh.
the whole day. And I was
Oh.
traveling back to Nashville that day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so about most of that day we still had a meeting, and I was like this.
Oh wow.
So they tried to serve tried to serve food. I think they served it in like
You wasn't having it.
yeah, served it like in canisters. Couldn't eat it. Got to the airport, figured, okay, I am hungry. I need to eat something. Tried a Philly cheesesteak. Only ate half of that. And when I got home, I told my wife, man, something's wrong with me. I don't know what it is. So she fixed me this concoction that along with the shower helped me. So I got home,
Good.
went to bed at midnight, woke up at I think 4, went back to sleep, woke up again at noon. Best rest I had.
Yes.
Best rest I ever had. Ooh. But
Man.
the month after that, coughed
Mm-hmm.
up a storm, blue nose, and blue nose to where it was
Yes.
bloody.
Yep.
Oh yeah, all that for a full month. So I do not wish that on anybody.
I don't wish that on anybody either. I don't.
But I'm glad you're better, brother. I'm glad you're better.
Knock out COVID a second.
Yeah. He says rest, fluid, soup, and listen to you guys have helped. Good, man. Good, brother. I'm glad that's been the case, man. I'm glad it's been the case. Ryan says, so I got that last December. In fact, it was a year ago this week, and treated it like I do whenever I get a cold. Copious amounts of broth, green tea, and vitamin C, and hot toddy before bed. I might have to do that eventually if I get that another time. Okay.
When I got it, it was Christmas Day. Found out the day after I had it. Christmas Day, and my wife Jody got it a day later when she did her test. You want to talk about being in the bed and not moving? when y'all can echo this, when you get sick, no matter what it is, you find that one spot in bed and don't move.
Hmm.
You don't want to do a doggone thing.
Mm-mm.
My
don't.
my mother-in-law was bringing breakfast because Jody and I had to quarantine ourselves for 10 days. Mother-in-law was bringing breakfast, which is cool.
It's cool.
Lot of fluids, lots of
Mhm.
fluids. But the day I started feeling better, I could get up, I could walk downstairs, I could take Lucy out for a little walk, and then go back upstairs and not have a problem. And I thought, okay, I'm turning the corner here. Not
Mm.
because I went back upstairs that morning and I was feeling good. Lucy and I were racing upstairs.
I think it's
I
so
saw the
deceptive.
bed and I fell flat on my ass.
I think it's so deceptive, man.
It is deceptive. I may take Ryan's advice and just do a hot toddy just because, so I don't
Mhm.
get sick this winter.
And for those who don't know what a hot toddy is, as Victor asked, he says it is tea with lemon, honey, ginger, and a shot of Irish whiskey.
Ooh wee.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a few of those.
I haven't had one of those yet, but if I do get
You
COVID
may
again,
need
I
it.
will want one.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not an Irish whiskey. I am not a whiskey drinker at all, but I will definitely take that.
Right. Shucks, my wife fixed me a version of that without the whiskey because we didn't have any in the house. We lived with our in-laws at the time, didn't have any. But the hot tea and ginger,
Mhm.
man,
Yeah. Why it says I love me a hot
knocked
toddy.
my ass cold.
Yeah, he says he loves my hot toddy. Andrew says my bed is too comfortable. I feel you. I feel on that. I
Agreed.
feel you on that. But sometimes you need to
Agreed.
do that.
It's like when I get done here and I sign out and I take Lucy out, the moment I climb in bed, I'm a dead duck.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be careful today because I still have things to do for my broadcast. And let me go ahead and push that. Tonight, it's the Jennings County Panthers and the Seymour Owls in Hoosier Hill Conference girls basketball action. We start the broadcast at 7 with a tip time of 7:30, and it's driven by Peyton Place Auto. For those of you listening in Indiana, and I just found out I got a bunch of folks that are listening throughout the state of Indiana.
Nice, man.
Including my old corridor, of course, which is Northwest Indiana, for those who know. There's a place called Bridges Scoreboard and Bar and Grill. They basically said, hey, you can mention us during your broadcast. I'm like, cool. So we're potentially working on a sponsorship for our scoreboard update.
Look at you moving.
I'm tired of sitting still, man.
Look at you moving.
I'm
man.
tired of sitting still, and give me the camera.
All yours.
I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, mystical. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I'm sick and I am. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, and I do listen to my wife when she says, if you feel fatigued, stop.
Smart
and I
woman.
do. There have been nights since I got out of the hospital, quite frankly, where some nights I'd sleep through the night with no problem. And some nights, like the last 2 nights,
you struggle. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. But that's why I have a wonderful, wonderful partner and friend in Cole Johnson, who figures along with my wife. And I told this story yesterday. My wife kissed me, and said, "Sleep well," and walked out the door. Normally, she would say to me, "Have a great show and a great day." No. Yesterday, or Jody for this, she gave me a kiss and said, "Sleep well, honey." Walked out. Did I know what the hell that was about? No. Did I realize that I had a show to do? Because it was 7:30 when she left. Did I realize I had a show to do? Yeah. Know what time I checked in? 8:30.
That woman knows you too well.
Hey, I have no complaints about that. None. Because every time most nights, because my sleep patterns are so off, and they've been off. When you spend as much time in a hospital as I have, in and out of hospitals, and you get woken up for blood draws and things like that, and this is the better part of 2.5 months that this was going on.
Yeah.
It was the better part of 2.5 months because I finally went home on Labor Day from Columbus Memorial, and I haven't been back. Thank you, Jesus. I don't plan to go back here. Well, I have gone back for a colonoscopy, and I have gone back for a couple of biopsies, but no extended stays. No extended stays.
Not talking about the hotel.
But yesterday, exactly. But yesterday, it's like I said, she kissed me and said, "Sleep well, darling," and walked out. What?
Yeah, wifey knows you.
30 seconds later, out cold.
Wifey knows you too well.
30 seconds later, I was gone. I was gone. And then she texted me later yesterday and said, "I don't know what time I'm getting out of here." So I figured, okay, I can get all of the work I need done before she comes home. And by the time she gets home, I can give her a massage, and her and me, and we both can sleep, right?
Cool.
Wrong.
Sounds good. Oh, no?
And I blame my dog for this.
Oh, Lord.
Because as soon as Lucy climbed in bed, I was dead. I climbed in bed, and Lucy gave me this look of, "Come on, Daddy. You know you need to sleep." So not only does my wife know me, do my kids know me, but so does my pet. Let me answer Sick Diggy's question before we get out of here. What's the most I've been wasted? I can point to one night where I was so wasted, I didn't realize I had gone home. And that night was my 40th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Why? I did a football game that night. And, well, I got invited to the party and the post-game meal, and I thought, okay, I'm going to be there for a little bit, then someone's going to give me a lift to the train station, and I can go home. Yeah.
Okay.
That's when the band opened their mouth and said, "Let's celebrate the 40th birthday of our play-by-play announcer."
Oh, that's nice.
Hell. I loved it, though. And that's when I got introduced to rum shadas. Because rum shadas to me tasted like chocolate. So I said, let me get some food in me. Let me get some food in me. I did. I got some food. And then rum shadas kept coming. Along with the birthday wishes and everything. Everything. Man,
Well.
I didn't realize I was at home until I got home because someone didn't take me to the train station. They drove me home. Now, I was in Brookfield, North Suburb. They drove me home to the South Side. And I slept the entire 40-minute drive.
Let me see. Well, I was in the military, 19 years of age.
Oh, boy.
And This was Saturday night, and this was around the time. This is around the time that if we stayed in, which we did, we would do things like we'd play Tecmo Bowl. So,
oh God, yes.
So we had a marathon session of Tecmo Bowl, all sorts of tournaments.
Did that at
throughout the
college.
barracks.
Oh
Yes.
my God, yes.
All through all that night, all barracks long, and throughout it, we were like, "Yeah, you feel like drinking some?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" So this was also the era of when 40s was popular. So I bought a 40-ounce of Schlitz malt liquor, downed it. I felt fine actually.
Y'all will hear that. Y'all will hear that tomorrow. Okay.
Downed it. Felt fine afterwards, right? It got to be about I think 5:30 in the morning. I stumbled to I stumbled to the floor because that's where I slept. I didn't sleep in my bed. I slept in that guy's barracks room on the floor.
Yep.
And as soon as I closed my eyes, it was as if I was tripping. It was as if I dropped acid because you know the visual that you see back in those 60s films where when someone is tripping, you just see like this cornucopia and the kaleidoscope of colors. You just see red and green and yellow and blue.
Yes.
I was seeing all of that once I closed my eyes.
Yes.
And I was feeling my head spin while my eyes closed. So I finally passed.
You were fine.
Oh, yes. I was done.
Yeah.
I was cooked. So I passed out about, I'd say maybe 15 minutes later. Woke up at noon. The worst hangover ever had. The guy that I stayed with had the guy I stayed with had the audacity to draw back the curtains, and this was in summer, bright summer day, not a cloud in the sky, and I'm like, oh, close the doggone curtain. Oh, man, I spotted shade. I wore shades everywhere. I was like Ray Charles, everywhere all that day.
I bet.
Oh my gosh. Never did that
When
again.
I was at Northeast Missouri State.
Never did that again.
Freshman week at Northeast Missouri State University, Kirksville, Missouri, we had a scavenger hunt. So we formed different teams. And one of the items on the girls' list was to find a shoe bigger than a size 13. Why did every female's eye turn to me?
Actually, with the paper bag.
Why did every female's eyes turn to me?
I don't know, man. My partner actually drank OE. What? So why, bro?
Because I wear a size 15. And every girl on that team was coming up to my dorm room for my damn shoes.
It was like, oh, daddy, big shoe. They pulled the same crap on me, dude. I know, man. Ooh, what's your size shoe? Well, and I actually do wear. I do wear 14. So yes, size 14. Oh, 14. Big shoe, big.
There's one other fact I would divulge, but I'm not going to do it here. There's one other fact I would divulge. I'm not going to do it here. I will do that on the Brian Snow podcast. Let's get on out of here. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you,
Behave yourself!
I'm sorry. That engine sent me not big enough.
Behave yourselves. We're out of here. See you tomorrow.
We're on Sideshow Confessions on Wednesday. Oh, yeah.
Lots of them.
Thank you for tuning in to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold, hard facts.